Across the miles my mind goes wandering.
It's the closing song on the Quilt of Memories album. It's called A Long Way Home. When I put an album together, I really do put a lot of thought into the songs that I want on that album. And then I put a lot of thought into the order in which I want those songs to appear on the album.
Oh, okay.
The basic theme of Quilt of Memories is looking back at the past. If you really study the songs, most of them, maybe not every single one, but most of them carry that kind of feel. Mickey's Gone, for example, Train from the Past,
Right.
The Quilt song. This A Long Way Home is one of my favorite songs on the album. I left Texas in 1972, 42 years ago.
It's a long time.
It was 700 miles back to the house, and the only house that I remember living in, because my family had quit its moving by the time I came along.
Wow.
Well, or by the time I could remember.
Right.
They moved to Texas before I was 2. So that was the only home I knew, and I was a long way from it.
That's right.
A trip home to me was a 12-hour trip.
At least, yeah.
Okay? And and I'm explaining the song, but this is the way the song was constructed.
That's
from a
right.
songwriter's point of view. I'm sitting 700 miles, I'd like to go home, but it's a long way there. Okay? Then the next 2 verses, I go home, but it's not home anymore.
That's right.
Because all these things have changed. Nobody lives there that I know anymore.
That's right.
And so, although I'm physically here, it's still a long way home.
That's right. And anyone that lives that moved away from their home, go back to their home years later when the family moved on, will absolutely know exactly what you're talking about.
And then the final verse is, my coming back's all been a mistake. It's been an error.
Well, in a way, but you gotta close
error,
it.
it's a human thing that you think you can go back there and recapture what was, and you can't. But there's still a journey. It's still a long way home to our ultimate, final home.
That's right.
And that's the reason that the tag after it says, Lord, help me on my journey, because I've still got a long way to go till I really get home.
I understand exactly.
And I will tell you this, there are not a lot of songs that when I write them, I actually get emotional. But the day I wrote A Long Way Home, I was crying before I was through.
Is that right?
And I thought, if nobody else identifies with this song, I do. It means something to me.
Well, if you cry to it, there's people around. I always notice there's always people around that had a similar journey.
Yeah.
And they'll feel the same thing.
Well, you finished the sentence a while ago. You said, you go back and it's not the same.
Oh, it's not. No.
Yeah.
But but one of the things you do is you get closure on where you're at. All of a sudden you come back and where you're at now it's okay now because there wasn't any there to go back to.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and so what you have now is your home, because there isn't a home there anymore. It's disappeared. Right. And although it's really, I mean, we went back to Gary's home, it wasn't even there. It was field.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, geez.
Right.
It's all gone. This is in West Texas, West Texas is terrible. I'm just joking. No, I love it. I love West Texas. I love the people there.
I mean, was she really from West Texas?
She was, yes. Yeah,
what? Where?
Abilene.
Abilene. Okay.
But she was actually in New Mexico. So
cool.
They're coming on. So let's finish off our song, and then we can get out of the studio here because everyone's coming. So
all right, and we're going to listen to A Long Way Home.
Thank you.
My journey 'cause it's still